2013 and newer Volkswagen Beetle convertible, the deck lid or the trunk here will not open when you operate the switch here. I'm going to show you the most common cause of that and how to repair it, so stay tuned for that. First thing we need to do is figure out a way to get the deck lid open so we can do some tests. To do that, you're going to open the driver's door. At the bottom, there's a little hatch here. You're going to pop this open and pull this cord out. And once you pull the cord out, you're going to give it a pull. And that's going to manually unlatch the latch back here at the back. Now you can go ahead and pull and lift up the deck lid. Now that the trunk is open, we need to go and pull this plastic cover off. There's a screw underneath the handle here. So we need to take this T15 Torx bolt out. Then you can pull the panel off like this, and you can set this aside. So now we can run some tests. I'm triggering the latch here by closing it manually, and I'm operating the switch, and as you can see, it worked there. And when I had the deck lid closed, it wouldn't work. I couldn't open it. So that means that we probably have a wiring issue. So what I'm going to do is visually inspect the wiring harness. On the left side of the hinge here is the wiring harness that goes up for the latch and also for the third brake light. So I want to do a visual inspection of this. So as you can see, I pushed the latch closed here with my screwdriver here, close the latch here, and then I'm testing it by pulling the handle. Now what I'm doing is wiggling the wiring harness to see if it will work. What happens when this trunk lid closes, it kinks the wiring harness. And so when you open it, it expands the wiring harness. So what happens is the wiring harness over time breaks right here at the hinge where it opens and closes. So it's folding and straightening out and folding and straightening out. So as you can see here, I'm bending the wiring harness and straightening the wiring harness, and sometimes the latch will work and sometimes the latch will not. So I know there's a wiring issue right here at the cable. Now if I hadn't got it to work, what I would have done is put a voltmeter at the handle here at the switch, unplugged it, and I would have tested to see if it had power and ground as I operate the switch. It is common for the servo motor and switch to malfunction, but in this case, it was the wiring harness. So we ordered up a factory replacement wiring harness, and the reason why is if you try to repair these wiring harnesses, I found that they're only a temporary fix. So this one had been repaired before I cut it apart right here, and this is where the bad connection was on this current handle here. So I'm going to show you how to take this wiring harness out and replace it. So on the left side of your trunk here, there's going to be this little catch here. We're going to pull this little cover and out, and inside will be a connector for the wiring harness here. So we're going to squeeze the little tabs on it and separate it. Now we can pull the wiring harness out right here, the grommet out, and pull it out through here. In testing, I had already pulled the plastic little panel off the hinge here. So you're going to do that. Now you're going to work your way up the harness and just pull off the, push the grommet in here. So I basically pushed the grommet in right here. And now what I'm doing is going to follow the wiring through the deck lid here, and then pop off the connectors where it's mounted, disconnect the third brake light right here. There's a little tab right here we're going to disconnect, and I'll show you how to get that off in a second here. So what there is a little catch here on the third brake light. You need to flare this little tab open. Now you can disconnect the two connectors at the top of the switch here, and once you get those two disconnected, now you can pull the wiring harness through like this and out. Overall, this repair is pretty simple once you get the wiring harness out. So now I'm just pulling the connectors through the hole here. And that's when I cut up the old harness here and found out that it had been repaired before. So I compared the old harness with the new harness, and I found this right here. This connection here is repaired. That's the reason why I recommend replacing it. If you try to repair it, it just breaks eventually again. So it'll last a lot longer with a new replacement harness. So I recommend that. So here's the brand new factory harness we got from Volkswagen. I will put the part numbers in the description of the video. So I fed the new harness back through the port here, put the connectors through, and then reached around the back side here and pulled them up. Once you got them pulled up, now you can go ahead and start plugging them back in, and then mounting the mounting clips where they mount. After you get the top half installed, now we can take the bottom half and feed it through the hole right here, and then plug it all in. It was a little bit of a challenge to run it through and then plug it in. Once I got it plugged in, I closed the hatch here. Now I make sure the grommet was in place. Now I installed the plastic clip here on the hinge here, and it had a couple of zip ties already came with it. So then I mounted it, cut the ends off, mount the grommet here, and make sure that's in perfect position. So the wiring harness is plugged in inside the fender well. The grommets are put in place. All the mounting brackets are installed. This one had a double-sided sticky tape that held the wiring harness here. Everything's installed. Now you can put the plastic cover here back into position. Once that's done, you can test the operation of the latch and switch, and also the third brake light. Thank you for watching, and be sure to subscribe.